So without the rank and file disruption of the CIO and the eventual organizing tactics that were institutionalized by the Congress of Industrial Organizations, we would not have what is known today as the Fair Labor Standards Act. And that act is very important because it is a federal statute of the United States. It was passed in 1938. Now, the FLSA established what we all take for granted today, and when we go apply for a job. We understand that the Fair Labor Standards Act established a national minimum wage. It established guaranteed time and a half for overtime, especially in certain jobs. And it prohibited most employment of minors in quote-unquote oppressive child labor. This is a term that is defined in the statute. It gave us the 40-hour week. We got the weekend. So again, labor organizing, the CIO brought us the weekend. So one of the things about the Fair Labor Standards Act is that it applies to employees engaged in interstate commerce or employed by an enterprise that is engaged in commerce or in the production of goods for commerce, unless the employer can claim an exemption from coverage. So the ultimate message of the Fair Labor Standards Act is that it is not necessarily your fault that you are poor. That was one of the most powerful messages that was brought out as a result of the New Deal. And the New Deal was very important. That generation left us a heritage that we need to appreciate. Now, on the other hand, there was going to be certain events that are going to be occurring in Europe and Russia that led to the rise of totalitarianism, what is known as totalitarianism of the left and totalitarianism of the right, that led the U.S. Congress to become reactionary and fearful. And so on May 26, 1938, the House Committee on Un-American Activities was established, and a special investigating committee was reorganized from its previous incarnations, and the idea was to investigate alleged disloyalty and subversive activities on the part of private citizens, public employees, and those organizations suspected of having both communist or fascist ties. This committee is going to work for the next 20 years, from 1938 through to 1960, to undermine the organizing activities of union leaders and workers, and this is the CIO, and then it would work to deport American citizens whose loyalty was called into question. And so we have this particular committee that's going to do tremendous damage to immigrant rights and going to do tremendous damage to organizing abilities. And as a result of this committee, there's going to be a reinforcement of their, suspicions through the passage of what is known as the Smith Act, the Alien Registration Act, or the Smith Act of 1940, is a United States federal statute that set criminal penalties for advocating the overthrow of the U.S. government, and it required all non-citizen adult residents to register with the government. So the act, while it was set to, anybody who's going to be advocating the overthrow of the U.S. government, well, obviously there's some problems, but the act was designed to go against political organizations and figures, most notably those who were involved with the Communist Party and the Socialist Party in the United States. Approximately 250 Americans are going to be indicted under the terms of the legislation, including all alleged communists, socialists, Trotskyists, and fascists. Luisa Moreno will be deported under the provisions of this act. So you can imagine if we've had this act in operation today, then perhaps something would happen with regards to the presidential administration.